So we are now in our questions portion of our town hall, and we're going to dedicate 20 minutes to questions. We have 2 mics out, right, available. Put your hand up, and it can be a question, it can be recognition.
I got a question
Yeah, sure.
about the future plans for the swimming pools here at St. Amant.
Okay.
Are they going to be opened when the strategic plan happens, or is it going to be closed down and renewed different things here at St. Amant? Or will we be using some
Okay.
of that?
Sure, I can answer that. The swimming pools will remain the swimming pool will remain open here. I should say pools, because we have our outdoor pool too. There's no plan to make any changes other than I know Joyce has been chairing a committee that we've been trying to make sure that we're using the pool even more often, and I believe that we've had some success there. Am I not correct? Yes. So the pools will remain available. Good question. Thanks. Anyone else? Okay.
You were talking about the social enterprise.
Yeah.
I was just wondering if there was any more information on that, or if there's moving forward.
Yeah, sure. I can go in a little bit more detail. I mentioned the idea of snow clearing and lawn care being an area where the different communities of service are already spending money. So we know we're already investing money there. We're doing a bit of an inventory right now, and they're going to develop a business plan. And in that business plan, we'll be asking for some money, and we believe that we might be getting some help from the Catholic Health Corporation to start up funds, in essence, to get that social enterprise going. So we've targeted the end of November to have a business plan ready to start to talk to the Catholic Health Corporation about a possibility of a grant to get the first idea going. There are many great ideas out there, so if you have them, by all means let me know. Okay?
Hi, I'm Chantel with the St. Amant Foundation, and I know John addressed this already about the festival, but this is my first year organizing the festival, and I just wanted to say thank you to everybody. It was amazing to see so many staff get involved. You know, some of you volunteered, some of you registered for our first run, a lot of you did the walk, answered to my multiple questions, showed up on the day out with your family. Anything you did to help out with the festival, it was amazing, and I was blown away, and I just wanted to say thank you for helping us raise $175,000. So thank you.
I also wanted to do a recognition to environmental and facility services, specific to all the support that they provide around the FM Cafe and the Leisure Guide. Almost on a daily basis, there's some type of a recreational event that's happening through those 2 programs, and they work really hard as a team to make sure that space is set up, that it's well maintained throughout the events, and then at the end of the night, when we're all exhausted from all the fun we've had, they come in and they make sure that the equipment is put away and safely secured for next time. And really, sometimes there are a couple of leisure events happening on one night, and they got the crew split up into different rooms and working on getting everything done. So a big round of applause and thanks for the whole team and all the players that go into that. So join me in giving them a round of applause.
Hi everyone, I'm Shauna. I just wanted to also thank everyone involved in making the FM Cafe and Leisure Guide possible. So shout out to volunteers, safety teams, volunteer services, environmental services, sport workers, team leaders, RCSs, and basically all staff that are involved with all of those events throughout the month. Also wanted to mention that I'm very excited about October 27th, our upcoming FM Cafe. So we have lots of stuff planned that night, and we are looking for volunteers. So contact volunteer services or myself if you want to help out. Thank you.
Thanks.
Actually, I just I'd also like to give a shout out to Environmental Services for setting up our cafeteria once again to over 300 seats so that all staff who wanted to come can sit. And we think about this very hard, and we work with Jen and Chris and go over what they need, and these guys just come at it and do it and then put it all back together again. So that's really cool. And I also want to give a shout out to Nutrition Services for being able to provide, you know, the food, everything for more than 300, because you have to have more. But also the cookies are the original cinnamon recipe. So, one round of applause for the cookies.
There was a very serious pause there. I was wondering what was coming. And I love cookies.
My name is Jennifer, and Chris and I are your whole communications department. And I just want to thank all of our followers on social media who like and share the information that we put out there. As you may know or guess, we don't actually have much of an advertising budget, so the way that we get the word out for job postings and events and information is often through our social media. And so every time you like or share it, it's really helping us get that information out there. And so we're really grateful for everyone who interacts with us on that platform. Thank you.
I've got a question again.
Okay.
This involves the FM Cafe. I was thinking about, like, are we gonna ever be able to get more money for real bands to come or live bands to come? Like the Tragically Hip or Henley or the others or Nickelback or whatever. Would that be possible, John Leggat?
Well, I don't think we're probably going to be able to attract the caliber of the hip. We have actually, even from the first FM Cafe, where we actually, all the performers were performing for free, we now have a budget funded by the foundation that pays for the bands that are here. So I think almost every band is getting an honorarium now, but nobody's getting rich from coming here to perform. We do rely on people's connections. So if you know someone in the music business, sometimes we can get a band to come here and share their talents, and sometimes it's just because they know of St. Amant or somebody convinces them that we're an organization worth coming to play for. So that's how we'll get the bands like the Hip. So, but great question. Any other recognition or questions? Oh, over here, and we have a mic, and so go here first and then come over.
I have a question. I was just wondering what are they doing to our bridge and our fountain?
Oh, at the back in the atrium?
Yeah.
So there's a refresh of that whole area. Some of it, I think, initially was structural around kind of repairing a little bit of leaks. That was first step. Step 2 is painting and making it look better. And step 3 would be replacing all of the vegetation and with new tropical plants that are much healthier, etc. So by, I think, Christmas or January, February, we're hoping to be complete there. Great question. Thanks.
I was going to say about the recognition.
No, I think you're good to go.
Great.
Yeah.
I'm Kristen, I'm coordinator for emergency foster services, and I just wanted to share a little good news story. We support a young lady, she's 17, and she was in an EPR shelter, and for those who don't know, that's not a great place for kids to grow up. And she's now been with us for 3 months. She is going to school, and she told us the other day that she's never felt more free. And I think that's just what we do this work for. She went from having 3 staff with her to being in a foster home, and she described herself as feeling free because she gets to go to Costco. So, not my idea of freedom, but it's hers. So thank you.
Right on.
Jen has one recognition here.
Okay.
I have a recognition for all of the HRs and all of the supports here and all of the team leaders and everybody else here. They have made a big, huge impact in my life, and sometimes my life may be on a rocky road, but you know what? I'm still going strong and I'm still living.
I know. Oh, that's awesome. Okay, I'm going to go through the questions and the shout out. I have a shout out to Nicole for all your support and guidance and patience with throughout the HR changes. Thank you to Anne Marie for the guidance and leadership that she has given the team through all of the recent changes. So thank you to both of you. Is St. Amant planning on bringing in a centralized food service system to nutrition services? Is there a plan on closing the cafeteria completely or have it run privately? So at this point in time, I was talking about the cafeteria a little earlier and the fact that we have made some changes already, that we're looking at the cafeteria and nutrition services from the perspective of the number of people that we have living here and will have living here, plus the whole cost of running those services. So we are still looking at that area, and we are not able to come back to you with any specifics at this time. When we are, we will commit to communicating that to staff just as soon as we know the direction we're headed, okay? Does anyone in management at St. Amant have a person affiliated with the Dana Merrick Hospitality? So that was actually the food service group that we had a contract with. We don't have a contract with them for us to provide our cafeteria services. We do have a contract with them for them to use a small amount of our space to do the Lunch Lady program. So they're a private company. They pay us for space so that they can run Lunch Lady out of our kitchen here. So to answer your question about is anyone in senior management or management related to anyone at Merrick or Dana Hospitality, my knowledge is no, there is no relationship there at all. And usually in contracts, when we sign a contract with a company like that, there is a requirement for disclosure. I'm not sure if there was, we were asking Shirley, but to our knowledge, there is none. So, how come there's no family flu shot clinic this year? And the answer is that the region has changed the way that things are done. The good news is that apparently every pharmacy, I think that's accurate, now you can get a free flu shot in the city. So I think they've increased the number of places where you can get it, so we don't have to look after the general public then, we look after our staff. For sure we look after the people we support, our staff and volunteers and anyone directly connected with the organization. Okay, sorry, that one I can't quite understand. I want to send out praise to staff scheduling team. They work tirelessly with programs and teams throughout St. Amant, and I couldn't be more proud of the work they do each day. All right. Why are we not allowed to bring our reusable mugs for coffee and tea at the cafeteria? Yeah. Jen's going, yeah, why aren't we? So we are working on, I think this is one of the, our sustainable, right, committee's action items they'll have to look through. I suspect the quick answer is that it's sometimes the size of the mug and, right, the size versus the size. And the what?
Sanitary, hygiene, putting dirty cups under there.
Oh, hygiene, yes, okay. But we'll see if there's a different way. Like we've got over the hygiene with the water over here, so maybe we can figure that out. Are you planning on hiring a director for HR? Areas are running short due to not hiring and etc. So yes, we are, but not until the new year. So until that point in time, Nicole will continue to act well, she won't be acting as the finance director. She is the finance director, and she's also taken over responsibility for HR until we hire someone. Can we improve communication response timing from staffing, especially answering calls? We know we are all very busy. Help issues run more smoothly. I'm sure at times all of us feel that response should be quicker. I mean, providing feedback in a kind of supportive way, I would encourage. If you are having challenges with communication, if you could sit down with those folks, that would probably be really helpful. Now the next one is BSU, CLSS, and SOS with question marks. So BSU is the Behavioral Stabilization Unit. It used to be called, we used to be referring to it as a Crisis Stabilization Service. And that is still the area in the cottages that we're talking about developing those specific, that specific service in the future, and we're working with the WHA on that. CLSS is the Community Living Stabilization Service, and it is a contract that we have with the Department of Families to provide outreach services in the community to stabilize people. It has a nursing capacity component to it, a psychology component to it, and a residential component to it. And then SOS is the name that has been used sometimes interchangeably with CLSS, so we can just take SOS off, okay? Reduce confusion. I think at one point CLSS was referred to as SOS, but will not be in the future. Is that other way around? We're dropping SOS and moving to, or dropping?
No. The outreach will be something, it might not be called.
Okay, the outreach part will be renamed something we haven't quite decided yet. The outreach is what I called the CLSS part. I'd like to recognize that October is OT month and send appreciation to Jane and Marla and Sharon, Shannon, and Florence for all their hard work and persistent dedication to our St. Amant people we support. So thank you to them all. Okay. Is there okay, this is another, is there a plan to close down the kitchen question? So I think I've already addressed that. There's another nutrition question that's very similar. Oh, actually this one addresses that there have been some breakdowns in the kitchen. I think most recently some of you benefited from a bake sale because our refrigerator broke down. So I'm sure if you're working in the kitchen and equipment is breaking down, that is frustrating, and they're just simply saying, is there any way that we could, get on that sooner to prevent it from breaking down? Oh, why are RAs having their food handlers paid for, but kitchen staff have to pay out of pocket? Simple answer is, it is a requirement for a job in the kitchen upon hire to have your food handlers, so we would not pay for that. But when we ask an RA in a cottage area to handle food, and it is an added, after employment requirement for them to do so, then that's why we would pay for it. Regarding staffing consultation, are we expecting deletion of positions and bumping? So is that in the scheduling? Is staffing? Is that what? I'm not sure what that question, which area. But no, I have no expectation for deletion of any positions in the scheduling area, if that's the question. Question regarding 3 male RA positions that were changed to female RAs. 2 evening short, so then it goes on to say the specifics of the shifts that were changed. I would like to get HR's input and other higher staff into why we changed the designation of those positions. My simple answer is that some positions are gender specific here. So, 1 minute, okay. And so sometimes we require males to work with males, but female staff are able to provide care to both genders. Male staff are gender specific to male for care. So sometimes if we are unsure if that position will just be dedicated to males, if it might provide to both genders, we will probably hire that as a female position. Is that correct? That's how it's been explained to me in the past. So, and I have 1 minute, so that's it?
One more question.
Okay. Based on the staffing consultation, the vision is to have RAs do more outings with recreation staff and RIs. So the plan is to merge 2 job descriptions to 2 different education requirements and salary bracket to 1 job title. So they're asking, are the RAs and the RI positions going to be into one, and we have not made that decision at all. That is, I think when we were having the consultation process, we were saying right now we have a division of labor that sometimes doesn't make sense. So we got to figure that out as we go forward. But we haven't made the decision to collapse both positions together. What we'd like is, and we know is happening, is RAs are much more involved in outings than they were in the past, and that's a trend we'd like to see. And can they use the 2 vans that the day services have to take people out in the evenings and weekends? And the simple answer is yes, we're working towards that. So there should be more vehicles available for evenings and weekends as long as people have the Class 4 to drive them. Okay? One more question, Tree?
I'm going to stand so you know that somebody's speaking here. My name's Doreen, and I've been involved with St. Amant for 38 years, and my son has received services from St. Amant for all of that time, and I have to tell you, this is a shout out. So when you talk about change, I've been through a lot of change, and I guess what I'm just here to say that I feel much more confident and much more engaged in going forward, and I know that the last strategic plan brought on lots of learning opportunities for all of us. So going forward, I'm feeling much more confident and more settled about that. And so I just wanted to put a shout out to everybody who's been involved in that, because I know it hasn't been easy for all of us. And you know, just from a family's perspective, I just wanted to say I really have appreciated everybody's input in all of that, and it really means a lot to family. And just on a personal note, just got to me. I walked up on the 3rd floor, and it was the first time I actually envisioned my son in his own room. And I just thought if I would ever know that to happen. So I just wanted to say thank you.
Thank you, Drew. Thanks very much, Rick.
We both came back from going on vacation with our own families and realized that why couldn't we do this with any client here? And we can see when we're out with our families, wow, such and such would love to be here right now. And that's kind of where it stemmed from, is we came back and said, why not, and how do we start?
Both of the gentlemen just had a 50th birthday recently, and we thought this was the perfect opportunity.
We had a lot of support when we brought up the trip. We had support from clinical staff, families, our peers. So it was a really positive experience advocating for the trip.
Could just see the joy on Gary and Alan's faces. Like, they really thoroughly enjoyed it.
They couldn't get into the raft fast enough. We had to slow them down. They were ready to go in the group ahead of us. They were so excited. Yeah. So
it's just one big adventure after another.
And they surprised us every day. From the smiles to their abilities and their enthusiasm every morning, every day, every new challenge. Because we did things that they never did before. There was one day in particular, the Glacier Adventure Day. Gary, well, all of us were required to go up and down quite large steps, and Gary's mobility is not 100% at times, and he did those flights, those small flights of stairs like a champ, and it was amazing, and he did not lose a smile at any point during that day.
Alan absolutely loved the road, being on the road in the car. And this one particular moment, and we put the window down for him to be able to see out and just to get that fresh air in his face and stuff. And he had the deepest belly laugh. It was such an amazing giggle that it's not something you normally hear from him, and it was so nice to hear.
Yeah.
Since we've been back, Alan he smiles more. He wants to be present more. He wants to do more. And Gary, same thing. He can't.
Yeah, he can't take pictures. Like, he keeps on going in there and grabbing them, even when they're not quite ready yet. It doesn't matter. He wants to show off his pictures. Yeah. He's very proud of, and he just glows when he pulls them out. So it's really nice. We've gotten people asking us questions on how it went, where we started, and just asking for some guidance. So we're here to help in any way we can.
Yeah, we definitely encourage people to look into it and see what's possible, because if we can do it, anybody can do it. Right?
Absolutely.
It's just so rewarding, and we're very grateful to everybody who helped us plan it and helped get ready for this trip. I definitely encourage people to do it. Just go, do it.
So that whole trip was Michelle and Robin's idea from the staff that work here, and I think Gary, you're over there with us today. So thanks for sharing your holiday trip with all of us here today. A big shout out to our staff here who definitely go the extra mile to make sure that people have regular experiences. And for those two gentlemen, I probably shouldn't be using the word regular with regards to a trip like that. That is a once in a lifetime trip for them. It's a trip that some of us in our lives we maybe take for granted. And so thank you very much. That was also funded a large part by, I'm going to put in a little plug here for Frontier Toyota, helped us out with some of the costs. The foundation was able to fund much of the cost of that trip. So.